G'day, Starlo here. Today I'm going to share with you some of my decision-making processes and strategies when I'm fly fishing for trout. What an absolutely gorgeous piece of the upper Murrumbidgee River this is, and this afternoon I'm carrying two fly rods with me, which I don't often do, but I've got my Euro nymphing gear and I've also got a conventional 5-weight. So I'm going to fish nymphs in two different styles, one down and across on the conventional gear, swinging the nymphs, and I'm also going to do some Euro nymphing. I think this big pool I'm going to swing a couple of nymphs to start with. We've had some really cold, wet, unseasonable weather for late spring across the last few days, and now the sun has finally come out. The river levels are dropping. There's a few insects around. I'm a little bit hopeful. See if we can catch a fish. To fish down and across by swinging a couple of nymphs on a long leader and my floating fly line, I start at the upstream end of my chosen run. Oh, that was a fish. Damn. Missed one on the first swing. That's promising. So I make another cast across the current. Cast it across and swing it down. Oh, got him. He's not very big. Oh, oh, crazy fish. Oh, that's so good. Oh, great jumps. Oh, I shouldn't lift him on this little fine leader, but I will. There we go. Nice rainbow. Look at the colours on that. Wow. This is such an effective method, this. Swinging the nymphs down and across. Okay, don't tell your mates. I want to catch a couple more. Right, that's a good cast. Oh, missed him. There's a few there. Oh yeah, that'll catch them. Feed some line out into the current. Mend the line to reduce drag on the fly and let it swing. The fly's down about here now and fishing nicely, well under the surface. There's one. Oh! You do miss a lot because they're down below you. Try that one again. Swinging right down towards the tail of the pool now. But there was no more action. I'd clearly worn out this bit of water and it was time for a move, as well as a change of tactics. I'm opting to switch to my Euro nymphing setup now to work this narrower, faster running stretch of the stream. I'll be concentrating on the most likely lies, particularly those seams or edges between faster and slower water. Euro nymphing involves casting one or two fairly heavily weighted nymphs upstream on a long leader with a very fine tippet. At this point I don't even have any fly line outside the rod tip. It's then a matter of holding my leader up off the water and watching for visual indications of a take as the flies bounce downstream. Slightly quieter water on the inside. In there. Ooh. Righto, one on the Euro nymphing gear. Oh, he's in that powerful water. Can I bring him back? He's not very big. I might have to go after him. Probably a good thing he wasn't much bigger. Right, one on the swung nymph, one on the Euro nymph. Different water, different situations. Good release. But the character of the stream constantly changes, and on this bigger, deeper pool I've switched back to my conventional 5-weight to once again swing a nymph down and across in the current. Get it over there, big upstream mend, big upstream mend. Try and mend as much as you possibly can to get that fly down, give it a start. And then let it swing out into the current. And it'll be up high in the water by now. Quite a strong wind from my right here. I'm just having to make allowances for that on my cast. Alright, that's way over there in that quiet water. Mend a little line upstream to get the fly down. That fly should be getting down nicely now, but it's going to get accelerated and whipped out of there in a minute. Right about now it should be fishing okay. Oh, there we go. Yes, on the big swing. You just got to work out what the current's doing and mend line as much as you can and get it down there and just trust that it's fishing. Oh, he's coming straight at me, this one. Come on, mate. Come tight, come tight, come tight. How big are you? Oh, he's a nice fish, I think. Oh, no. Really takes some getting your head around what that water's doing to your line, but if your fly is fairly heavily weighted, you've just got to rely on the fact that it is getting down. I've actually taken my little dropper fly off. I've left the dropper on there in case I want to put it back on. But I reckon I was actually getting down there better with a single fly. Another lovely rainbow. Not big, but rewarding. Gee, they're pretty. This is a very tricky spot, this one. There's so many counter currents and back eddies, but I got it right across into that quiet water on the other side and then just let it come swinging. I'll try that again. But no more joy. It hadn't been a bad start, but I was already planning a change of strategies for the next day. So yesterday I carried 2 rods, my Euro nymphing outfit and a standard 5-weight. And look, it was good to have the 2 different outfits, but it was also a bit of a pain because I'd have to put 1 rod down, fish a stretch, then come back, pick that rod up and move on. And it made it a lot harder than it really should have been. So today I've actually just gone for my 4-weight. I've got a full-length weight forward floating line on it at the moment, but I've also got my Euro nymphing reel in my backpack. I figure I can probably Euro nymph with this rod if I need to, if I find some good stretches. But I'm actually going to kick off today with a far more conventional approach, a nymph under a dry fly. So I've got a fairly bushy, buoyant dry fly on there and about 60 or 70 centimetres underneath it. I've got a very small, very lightly weighted nymph. And I'm just going to try working my way up along the river here. It's still high. It's been dropping since we had that rain and snow a few days ago, but it's still well above average. And I might struggle a bit in some stretches, but I'm sure I'll be able to find some quieter, softer water and hopefully a fish or two. I pushed upstream through the bush and began casting my dry and nymph dropper rig. That looks nice up along that edge. It's not running quite as hard as the main stream. I've got a little bit of breeze coming down the river, which is making it a bit tricky with the 4-weight, especially with that big bushy dry fly on there, but I think I'm getting it up far enough to catch a fish. You don't have to cast a million miles. That's a good drift down the inside there. I was drifting my 2-flyer rig along the outer edge of the submerged grass and aquatic vegetation, all prime trout water. Just going to concentrate on up the inside here where it's not running quite so hard. There's got to be a fish in there. It's pretty deep. It might be too deep for where I've got my nymph set, unless they're willing to come up. Try out in the current as well. Yes, took the dry and I missed him. Oh, he came up so slowly. I probably should have struck a bit slower. Oh, nice little brownie by the looks of it. Good to see. Bit of a break from the wind. Can actually stretch out and cast a little bit further. Oh, well, I can't really claim that one. I went to lift off to make another cast and he was on the nymph. I didn't see him pull the dry down at all. What do we got? Little rainbow. No, it's a start anyway. First fish for the day. Just a little one. With renewed optimism, I pushed on upstream, keeping one eye out for snakes, of course, and soon I struck pay dirt again. No, it's taken long enough to pin one on the dry. I've had my chances. If I get him, this will be my first trout on the dry for the season, which to me is always a really special thing. He's not particularly big, but I might use the net anyway. Rainbow. Skid him up. Oh, there he is. First fish on the dry for a new season. Oh, I just love catching them that way. Flies come out and drop through the net. Look at that. About time. I figured it was only a matter of time until I found a better fish, and sure enough. Oh, this one's a little bit... Oh, yes, he's quite a bit better. You're going to have to go after him, I think. Looks like a brown. Where am I going to land him? This is going to be tricky. Oh, got him swimming up current. Nice fish. Might even keep this guy. Haven't kept a trout for a while. Oh, there we go. That'll be a beautiful eating fish at that size. Look at that. Wild brown. I'm going to take that one home for dinner. There's the fly in the roof of his mouth, in the corner of his mouth. It's a little stimulator. Floats quite nicely. Excellent. With dinner safely in my backpack, I pushed on toward the waiting car as the sun sank behind the mountaintops. A few more insects were appearing now, mostly caddis and the odd mayfly spinner, and I wasn't too surprised when the odd trout also began to rise. It was that magic time of day. Hopefully time for one more on the dry. Got him! Yes! Oh, yeah, how good's that? This is the time of day, the witching hour. A few caddis starting to hatch and a few trout rising. And this one just couldn't say no to my dry fly. Lovely fish too. Oh yeah. Nice brown. I'm going to need the net for this one. There he is, in the net. Chunky brown with my little stimulator in the corner of his mouth. Very nice. Gonna get the hook out and get him back in. Don't mind keeping the odd one, but this one's just too lovely. Oh, off like a shot. Good stuff. I think that might be about it. What a great day it's been. Getting a few on the dry is always special. My favourite form of fly fishing. Just a single dry fly on the end of a long light leader. Light outfit, 3 or 4 weight rod. Doesn't get much better in my book. Until next time, this is Starlo wishing you tight lines.